Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So today we have Representative Anthony Weiner, who of course we all know infamously for his sexting scandal with an underage teenager, versus the governor of Massachusetts, the most approved of governor in the United States of America, a Republican from the state of Massachusetts. So this map is going to be very different from what I'm used to. A lot of the states that I would normally characterize as safe blue would no longer be safe blue. States that I would characterize as toss-ups would soon to be safe red. So we're just going to go through this map now. Let's start with the safe red states because I feel like these states would definitely, they're just going to show you the immense power of the Baker campaign would be if Anthony Weiner was the Democratic nominee. And this is all what if. I know that he's in prison and this is not going to happen, but this is just a what if scenario, and essentially this is going to be what it's going to be like in the general election. So safe states, pretty much I'm going to fill in Maine for for that much. Safe red states would pretty much be all these states that you see now. Actually, Maryland would probably be included, along with New Jersey. They don't like scandals there at all. But so this is the map so far. So we have 391 electoral votes for Baker. And Anthony Weiner, you know, he's not going to win his home state. That's where his scandals all started. And it'll take forever for New York to turn red, but I think Baker could do it, especially having that Northeastern appeal against someone who's hated in his own home state, especially coming out of jail, becoming the Democratic nominee. That would definitely kill him in the election. And Hawaii, Washington, Oregon, California, those are tough states to call because I think they would be extremely close. Going to the Northeast, Baker's a moderate Democrat. Vermont is a moderate. Baker's a moderate Republican. Vermont is mainly a moderate Republican state. Although they vote Democrat in presidential elections, Vermont is the state that's voted for the Republican most in U.S. history. The state that's the most Republican. They currently have a Republican governor. They're pretty much liberal Republicans up there that vote Democrat. And Rhode Island, Connecticut, I think those would also go to Charlie Baker. I think he would hold on to those voters. The District of Columbia, I think, would stay blue. That would be Weiner's pretty much only win at this moment. I'm thinking about all the other states, and I'm not seeing really that much of an electoral count for him. Delaware, I think, would be the same. You know, they have been trending a little more Republican since 2016, and I think it could possibly go to Baker, especially against Anthony Weiner. Just altogether, I think that state would go red narrowly, though. In a state like Illinois, you know, they voted in Mark Kirk. They have a Republican governor, and personally, although it wasn't off here, personally, I could see this one going red, especially with Baker being the nominee. I'm not so sure about Weiner's grasp on the Democratic Party being that strong, but I'm actually going to come back to it because I may revise my position. But states like Washington and Oregon, I think those would flip. The reason behind it is I don't think the Bernie Sanders part or the moderate Democratic Party will come out to vote for Weiner. I think they'd actually come out to vote for Baker. Although he does have that R by his name, and although Weiner does have that D by his name, that's not going to be enough to convince a lot of these voters. He's a proven sex offender, and that's going to be something that's going to hurt him in the campaign. Not hurt him, actually make him lose an electoral college landslide. And, you know, I was saying Illinois, you know, might go Dem. Thinking about it, if it did go Dem, it would be very narrow, and there would have to be a lot of factors. Because if you think about it, Illinois is a predominantly Democratic state, but so is a state like Washington, Oregon, Maryland, Delaware. You know, if those states are flipping, Illinois is probably flipping as well. Now, states like Hawaii and California, those are probably the more liberal states, the more progressive states. Hawaii, you know, if they like Baker's policies and they really want to support him, it could go red. But just based off where history tells us, I think that it could stay in the Democratic column. But I think it would be very close. Actually, thinking about it, considering George Bush made it competitive within 10% compared to where Obama did and where Clinton did, if Weiner's the nominee, actually, since he is a proven sex offender, I'm not going to be giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think that everything will stack up against him in a general election campaign. And it all comes down to the state of California as to whether or not Baker would win an electoral college landslide in every single state. You know, this would be the closest to 538 electoral votes for any candidate. And California, that one would be close, but I think it would go red. Now, the reason behind that is, although it is in a predominantly a super liberal state, I don't think they would come out for a proven sex offender, and I think that Baker would make inroads with a lot of the Democrats being a liberal slash moderate Republican compared to the alt right, compared to the farthest part of the Republican Party, things like that. I think Baker would be perceived as someone who's more of a centrist, and I think he would win a lot of those voters over. And the District of Columbia, I think it would be within 10%, but I think that that huge Democratic base down there would vote for Weiner, giving him 3 electoral votes. So this is the final electoral map. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you all tomorrow.